Boom, 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 boom. Stop. Hammer time. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Oh. Hey, everyone. Welcome for another episode of Asian Month. And this time I got a interesting treat for you. And if you're going to ask me why I'm carrying this mallet here, well, I heard some moles going on in my yard, so I decided to whack some of them down. I think I invented whack-a-mole. I love this mallet. It's my favorite weapon. But you know, it kind of reminds me of this one movie I saw, you know? And it's made in Korea. And no, I'm not talking about Thor, because that was never an Asian film. I'm talking about a movie made in Korea. It was made back in, let's see, 2005. Year after I graduated. The movie I'm going to be reviewing for you today, ladies and gentlemen, is, of course, Oldboy. Now, this ain't no typical action film. This is more of a suspenseful thriller movie. Nothing supernatural or anything. This is more about revenge, and you have to watch this movie twice in order to get the whole gist of the whole story. In this movie, it's about this guy who goes by the name of Dae-soo. Now, Dae-soo, he was a successful businessman, and he made a successful and he got so successful because he also has a little daughter. He decided to celebrate. So what he does, he goes to this restaurant, got drunk out of his mind, got completely wasted. And then he got in trouble because, well, you know, every time you get drunk, you always cause trouble, right? And he always talks about that he has a little daughter, he has a little girl, he loves her so much. And then, the next day, he wakes up in a hotel room. But it's not like any other hotel room you've ever known. You see, this is a kind of hotel room with no windows. And all it has is just a TV. So pretty much he's shut off to the outside world. And wants to know what the heck's going on here. Why is he set in that house? And every time when somebody is sending him food, he keeps sticking his head out saying, "Where the heck am I?" And they keep kicking him back in the room. Oh, bear in mind, this movie is not for kids, so only grown-ups can watch this. So if any of you kids are watching, have watched this movie, don't blame me. I'm just doing this review for Asian Month. Anyway, there are some nudity, there are some inappropriate scenes in this movie. And he's been in that hotel room for 15 years. Dang. A guy who's been in a hotel room that long, talk about being shut off. And he only has 5 days for vengeance. Figure out who did this to him. Why. So pretty much he tracked down the people who own the hotel. And of course this would involves the hammer part. He decided to take down a bunch of bad guys. So he grabs his hammer. Of course his hammer is not a mallet like mine. He has one of those old-fashioned hammers with those sharp things in the back. And as for torture, he grabs this guy who owns the hotel room, put the sharp stuff on the front of his teeth, and took his front teeth out. That would save his trip to the dentist. Whew. And then he meets a young girl. He meets a young girl who works in a restaurant. And here's something really disgusting that you start to notice in this movie. He eats a live octopus. Because in Korea and Japan, they eat octopus. And it was so gross to see one of those octopus tentacles, just all the tentacles going right up his nose and everything. I mean, he was so... bleh. Well, he was passed out. And the girl who works in that restaurant took him to his room. And he has no idea who she is. And then he gets a phone call to this one guy who is responsible, the kind of like the mastermind of all this. And he wants to figure out who is he and why is he doing this to him. Why did he shut him off to the outside world? And he doesn't even know what happened to his wife until he heard the news that his wife is dead. And his daughter, she's held captive by him. So he goes through this entire journey, figuring him out and figuring out what happened. Oh, and one thing I gotta say, the action scene in this movie, it's the first time you ever seen an action film where a guy used only a hammer and knock out a bunch of bad guys. I mean, knocking their skulls, it's going... You know, I think I'm getting really too fond of this mallet of mine. I have the power! Huh, nothing. What a jip. Anyway, back to the review here. He also has a friend who's more like a hacker, and he hacks into any information that he needs to know. Until the bad guy killed him off. Because he made remarks about the bad guy's sister. Now, here's something I never done in these shows here before, but this is what I'm going to say to you folks. This time, this will be no spoiler alert this time. I know you'll be expecting an interesting ending that you might be interested to see or not see, but this time, I'm not going to tell you the ending. I mean, the ending of the movie and the reason why is so shocking, so surprising, that it's up to you guys. I want you guys to watch it so you can be shocked as I am. And for those of you who've seen the movie, shut up! Don't spoil it. Let the other people watch it and see for themselves. It's really shocking. I mean, this movie is really, really shocking. To no end. And you know one thing that was really interesting? I heard a rumor that they were planning to do a remake, an American version of Oldboy, starring Will Smith. He's a good actor, but that's not a good role for him to play. So thank God they decided to drop the idea of Will Smith starring in this movie and make a remake version with Josh Brolin. Perfect choice. Josh Brolin, he's a really good dang actor, and he did a pretty good job playing this character in the American version. And much to my surprise, the actress who plays the love interest in the story is Elizabeth Olsen. Elizabeth. Alright, you got me. I like Elizabeth Olsen. I really like her. She's a great actress. And of course, some of you are going to be talking about the Olsen twins. Well, let me tell you something. I only like Mary-Kate and Ashley when they were young. But as they grew up, lost interest. I couldn't stand the Olsen twins, ever. Heck, I remember in high school. In high school, one of the guys just showed up at my table when I was having lunch, and he was like, "Hey, what do you think about the Olsen twins? They're pretty hot, aren't they?" And I was like, "Please. I'd rather date Paris Hilton, Nicole Richie than the Olsen twins." It was during the time when Simple Life came out, before I discovered Paris's sister. But of course I said it sarcastically. I'm not really interested in Nicole Richie or Paris Hilton or even, what's the name of Paris' sister? Nikki Hilton? I think. Oh well. But Elizabeth Olsen, she's a much better actress. And now I hear that she is dating the guy who's playing Captain America in these Avenger movies. And of course she plays the Scarlet Witch on the Avengers. So that reminds me. I should watch Avengers Age of Ultron so I can see her performance. And I'll probably think about watching Civil War. Heck, I haven't watched Civil War and I haven't watched Batman vs. Superman yet. I'll get to it. Because right now I'm more occupied on watching Deadpool and Doctor Strange coming this February. Oh, by the way, that reminds me. When I saw the trailer of Doctor Strange, the movie, after I did my review, keeping you up to date about this character, when they did the trailer, I was like this. Doctor Strange movie, I called it, yes, yes, stick with the kid, baby, yeah. But it's just me. Anyway, I really do like Elizabeth Olsen. She's really cute and very talented actress. She's way better than the Olsen twins. The Olsen twins can kiss my butt. Anyway, back to the matter in hand. Those of you who don't want to watch the Asian version, you can watch the American version with Josh Brolin. I mean, there's more to it and a lot more explaining. But for those of you who likes to be traditional, watch the Korean version. The Korean version is pretty good. So this is why I'm not going to be spoiling it for you folks. I want you guys to watch this movie, check it out, and you will be amazed like I was. Well, that's my review of Oldboy. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to whack some moles. Now, where are you, you little... Aha! See you later. Yeah, get back here, you little grave diggers.